to where it's like,
We
we wake up and it's like, should we leave? We don't have a car. It's in the shop. Okay, so now we got to figure out a rental car and pack your shit up. And what's like, if you're okay with it being destroyed, what are you okay with that? And like the intensity of the emotions, and just like get in the car and just, okay, now we have a 12-hour day of driving that we didn't plan for 2 hours ago when we woke up.
It's bad.
I love that.
It's like we only like spontaneous things when it completely changes our entire life.
How
Everything.
Oh, this says so much about us. I want to know how many people that they would listen to this are like, I have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not. Like, no. Wouldn't it be cool to just like disappear?
Yeah.
Just like leave and like don't tell anybody. Don't like just like go to a different country. It's like when you watch a movie and they like do something illegal or like something really crazy and they have to like escape.
You can't contact these people. You can't like, you have to change your name. You have to, here's a new passport and ID. And then here's like just a chunk of money and a gun.
There's something about that is so intriguing to me.
Here we are. This is probably the first thing that I got into with working out, was like pre-workout, energy drink, that sort of thing.
Wait, what age though?
4. No. Probably 13.
Really? You
14?
were taking pre-workout then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's one of those things, caffeine, is I don't know if I'm happy that I held on to the break of the seal of what that could do to you, or if I'm like, that could help me so much just like function a little bit more. Like I remember in one of my first class of the day, maybe it was senior year, one girl always brought coffee.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was like, this is so mature. Like, what is happening? Like, you bring coffee to school. Like, that was like a drink she brought.
Yeah.
And I was always like, oh, that's so interesting that you have you have coffee.
Yeah.
And then even when I started drinking coffee, it would be like I thought it was like a bad thing for you. Like, and not in the ways that it can be bad for you. Like, I thought it was like I was having sugar. Like, I thought it was like bad. Like
cigarettes.
Yeah, that I would only like, okay, I'm only going to do it when I have like when I work on Saturdays, that's when I'll have a cup.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time feeling caffeine, I was in a Starbucks in Madison, and I remember the song I was listening to because I was just like, I have never felt like this. This is crazy. I didn't connect it to, oh, it's the Caramel Macchiato that I'm having. This is caffeine. I was just like, it's the song. Like, the song is just making me feel so crazy. It's awesome.
This is like classic addict.
But then
it just made me feel so good and different.
But you know what people say about like the first time that you like do anything, like you never get that same feeling of it back.
Yeah.
I feel like caffeine was kind of like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But if you take a break, I think you do get back. Or like energy drinks kind of give me that same thing.
Yeah, I don't remember like that caffeine rush or that first feeling or anything like that. And really, like when I was taking pre-workout, it was only to work out. Like I didn't drink coffee through high school or do that. Like it was like the only caffeine I was having was, which is hilarious to think about now, was like pre-workout, and it was after school. So it's like I'm having pre-workout at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then doing a workout or whatever. But yeah, I didn't get into coffee. I don't think I got into coffee until we moved to California.
Yeah, we really weren't.
Like I wasn't doing coffee every morning.
No.
You know, or caffeine every day, really. Well, maybe pre-workout, but even
pre-workout. Oh yeah, I guess I was kind of doing some pre-workout when we were back home, first working out. But I don't know if that was like a consistent thing I was doing, if it was just like I feel like the people that we were kind of around at the gym, like anytime someone had a new flavor of something, we're like, give me a scoop, let me try it.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to bum scoops at the gym.
Yeah. Now looking back, I'm like, so expensive. But I don't know if I would have gotten into it as much, but the studio that I was teaching at, they were all like really like drink a lot of coffee, and it was just like available all the time, that it just like started to become more and more of a thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. The caffeine thing is so weird. Like all that stuff is weird to think about, like what I was doing to try to achieve what goals, and how I was working out, or how I was, like caffeine at 4 p.m. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that now.
Okay, so
I did that the other day, and I woke up and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I slept like shit. It took me like fucking 2 hours to fall asleep. Like, no.
I feel like both of these are true. They're both simultaneously true, but which one do you think, what side is more true? Do you think we are able to handle more because of like being younger? Like thinking of that time, like in high school, like are we able to do the caffeine and then still sleep, or like stay up super late and do like and then still be able to function? Or were we just so not aware of the damage we were feeling?
Yeah, that's hard to tell. I would say more the damage. I think you just like you just block it out and you push through.
Sure.
And then it's like, I don't know, maybe it all comes to a point, and then it's like, I don't know, you have a breakdown type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
because like, but you have so much more availability to like, oh, I'm just gonna sleep all day Sunday, and then
sure.
like, I don't know, you figure it out kind of thing. I don't know. I think it's more just you're unaware, and there's always like fun stuff that like you can just kind of block out and have, like, you're almost in a good mindset, because it's like you're just going and doing the next fun thing anyways, that you don't even connect to like what's going on.
I would love to, like, I wish we could have just traded places once, like for like a month in high school, just to see, like, because I'm like, no, like that to me that describes my life now. Is like, God, I can pick up on sleep, or I can relax when I want, or it's like I'm always doing fun stuff. I don't think that was how I saw back then. It was like, I have school tomorrow again and again and again, and it's just a bunch of shit that like sucks. It's like most of my days are awesome now.
Yeah, we've switched places.
Yeah.
You are me in high school. I am you.
But that's why I'd be curious, if I had caffeine during that time, would it have made it a little bit just more,
more productive? I mean, that's
just
how
like
I
more.
feel.
I don't know, not more fun, because I had a lot of fun, but just like, could I have pushed it even more a little bit or something, or like the shit parts of like getting up for school.
See, that's
if I had like a fun, like that's what I loved when I would bring like kombucha or something to class. Like if I had like a fun drink or fun caffeine to bring, would it have been a little bit more tolerable?
Yeah, I think that's what I've noticed with caffeine for me, is like it doesn't give me a boost. It more so just makes it so I'm not sad. And like the things to do are less difficult. It's almost like my mindset is better. Yeah. In a way.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it would make my mindset maybe better about the school part.
It wouldn't seem so sucky. But it I don't know, caffeine's never really given me like this real big burst of energy or anything. Really? I've never felt like that caffeine rush and like the like the crazy like, oh, I have so much energy. It more so just seems like it clears my mind out. Yeah. And just puts me in a better state of mind. It's like I don't think I'll ever go another day without some caffeine.
Oh, no.
It's just like
we've tried
I've tried, and it's like, this is not worth it. Like, I just feel like shit. I don't want to do anything. It's not even like withdrawals of like I have a headache and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, oh, this sucks. Yeah. Like, this is no fun. That's where it's like you start to understand all of those, silly shirts or mugs or whatever that are like, don't talk to me until I've had caffeine. Yeah. It's like, it's not don't talk to me, but it's like, my day is definitely not as good.
I'm not going to give you like a positive outlook on anything.
Yeah. I'm not going to have a good state of mind.
I'm
not going to tell you to go for your dreams.
I would. Like, that sounds really hard.
That does sound difficult. You should just give up.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go without caffeine. I can just cycle it. Like, I'll go down a little bit and then know when I can ramp it up. It's kind of like what we talked about before. Like, during the summertime, I'm not doing much, so I'm like, no, you don't need 3 things of caffeine during the day or whatever. Like, today is a specialty thing that we have an energy drink. But, like, during certain parts of the year, I'm like, 100% that plus triple shot espresso. And that's what I'm going to do.
Isn't that weird? Like, you just said energy drink. When you break that down, that is such a weird term to...
Energy drink?
Energy drink. I don't know. It just clicked of, like, That is so weird. I mean, it's like, think like, oh, this is energy food. Here you go. Like, this is energy food and this is energy drink. It's like, what a like second grade level marketing.
Oh yeah.
To like,
Well, if it
let's
was
just
like
say energy.
a green juice, it's just like health juice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so generic. That's
or
what it is.
like alcohol, like I don't know, poison juice.
Poison juice. Here's hydration
Drunk
drink.
juice.
Yeah. It's just so energy drink. It's like if you were trying to describe to a 4-year-old what this is, that's what you would say.
Oh yeah.
It's a energy drink. Gives you
Yeah.
energy. And they would be able to go, "Oh, I get that."
Yeah.
So
I drink
dumb.
this and it gives me energy. Okay.
Yeah. So dumb.
Well, and I wonder what like I said, like the high schooler thing, can you push through or do you just not notice it? I feel like kind of like what we've noticed with alcohol, like we didn't notice how bad we were feeling necessarily.
Yeah.
Until you like fully break away from it. You're like, oh, that's what the headaches were for. Oh, that's why I felt bloated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
where
what
it's like, but it felt fine every day. But
Yeah.
until you realize like what feeling good feels like, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's not good. That didn't
Yeah.
feel good.
You just get used to it feeling like
Yeah.
shit. You know, it's like
Yeah.
if you have a bum knee or something, you just get used to having a knee that hurts all the time, and then once it goes away, you're like, holy shit, this is what it's supposed to feel like. That's why I think it was more the awareness thing, like just not having the awareness and just continue to push through and whatever. I don't think it
Yeah.
was so, because like that's the other thing, is like we're not that old. We shouldn't be feeling
Right.
old, you know, oh, it's hard to get up and do this. It's like, I think it's just, you know, you go to school every day and you're going to see friends and hang out with friends. There's probably some new thing going on that you're paying attention to.
Mhm.
And then maybe you have sports, and then maybe you're going to work out and then go hang out with friends. Like, it's just like constantly keeping you engaged with something that
Mhm.
you're not. I mean, what teenager is focusing on what their body feels like? It's like,
Right. Yeah.
unless something really dramatic is happening, like their arm is broken or some, you know, crazy thing, like you're just kind of going about.
And even
just
that, you might go like,
rushing through.
just push. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Like there's also like such a laziness
Yeah.
that's just like, what am I gonna not do this to go get that checked out?
Well, yeah, it's like, am I not gonna
Like
play?
you don't
on-
understand consequences as much,
I'm
or
not
you're
gonna go
like,
to
I'll deal with
dance.
it probably later.
Yeah.
Like you just think you're so like I can handle it. That's like you
Yeah.
just don't take those things seriously because like I'll probably be fine.
Well, it's just like it's not enough to get in the way of anything.
No,
I'm
and
not
almost
gonna.
nothing is.
I'm not gonna skip dance. I'm not gonna skip practice. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like. I don't know.
One of the pictures just popped up on like my Facebook memories or something, and it was a picture of my broken foot, and it was like the caption was, "Well, I guess I should have gotten this checked out a month ago," or like I guess I should have checked it or whatever, because it was just like my bone just like
Yeah.
all not in the right spot. I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't have done it differently. I don't think.
No, I mean, especially like something like that where it's not. It's like, oh, it hurts a little bit, but again, you just like start working around it and you deal with it. You know.
It's almost like the pain was better than the answer, because like you kind of know like it was probably bad.
Yeah.
But like, because like all the signs are showing you like this is not getting better and it's progressing, and it's like
Yeah.
it's not just, oh, you have a little bit of a, you know, like a pulled muscle or whatever, but it's like still it's the unknown. It's like, oh, I could just keep
Yeah. See, I don't think high
pushing it.
schoolers are thinking that way, that far ahead.
because they're just like, right now I'll just deal with it.
It's that. It's all about what's right now. It's like, oh, I
Sure.
could either like, you know, say something's wrong with this, or like I could still have fun right now. It's like you're gonna just choose to have fun right now.
Yeah.
I think you don't realize consequences until later on, which I think is
Right.
why you start going like, oh, I shouldn't have caffeine after 4 p.m. or whatever. I shouldn't, drink all night and then
Mhm.
try to get up at 6 a.m. to go to work or go do whatever. Or I should like try to eat better because it makes me feel better. Like you're not thinking about the consequences. And then I think when you grow up, all you think of is the consequences. It's like, oh, what's going to happen if I eat this? What's going to happen if I, don't get my foot checked out? If I have caffeine after 4, if I do, it's like, that's all I'm thinking about all the time now.
That's where I like that I still do. I think sometimes like have that just like screw it. mentality
Yeah,
sometimes. Of like, who cares?
Yeah, I think everybody does. But they don't. Your whole teenage life is screw it. With a little bit of like, maybe I shouldn't do that. And
Sure,
then
yeah.
your whole adult life is like, I shouldn't do that. And then you have a little bit of like,
Yeah.
screw it, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, it just totally flips.
Me and Carly were talking about I think yesterday, where she was nicely, she got Starbucks for everybody at work, and a couple people had asked for like a refresher, like one of their teas, and she's like, I forget like that there's other forms of caffeine besides coffee and energy drinks. She's like, I just think like that's all that there is. And I think I'm so much like that too. I was like, because tea isn't it. Like, I don't, when someone says like, oh, I'm drinking a tea, I don't think, oh, you're going to get a
Real
caffeine buzz.
Yeah.
You're like, that's not the, like, I need my tea. It's like, you need your 20 milligrams of caffeine. Like, that to me is like,
that's
not going to do anything.
That's what I wonder is how much caffeine even is in tea compared to coffee.
I think it's like 30 milligrams. I looked it
30?
up. Yeah, because I was like, okay, if I have, because it was like one of those afternoon, I'm going to have something. Yeah. Like, okay, 30 milligrams, maybe it'll give me something, but
yeah,
for that's like your main source of caffeine. That's crazy to me.
Some people are just so sensitive to it.
I know, and that's what I said too. I was like,
wild, yeah.
Some people are like, coffee's too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, and that's where they're starting to do, there's the recommendation of like doing theanine with it now.
Yeah.
With your coffee, which I don't know if like you mix it in with your coffee, because I don't know if, I don't remember if theanine has a flavor to it, and maybe it goes away or gets masked by the coffee anyways, but the theanine, adding it to caffeine, is supposed to like ease you out. Like, it's not have the jitteries and the crazy. It's supposed to like calm you down too. So you have this like rush of energy, but also the calmness of the theanine, instead of just like rush of energy, jittery, numb, weird, which I like that feeling. That's what I like about.
That's insane.
I like the caffeine, the like from pre-workout and coffee and stuff. Like, I like the jittery, anxious feeling. But I have to have so much of it to get that. And it's like I'm such a slow drinker that I'm not gonna. I think it's so rare that I ever get to have that, because then I'm drinking caffeine
so
until
much.
freaking 4 p.m.
I like the tingles from like a beta alanine, but I don't like the nervous, anxious.
Yeah, I like the nervous.
That anxious. I'm like, it almost tricks my like. I can understand that when people like have, I don't know if it's like an anxiety attack or like maybe a low dose of that, of where like you just kind of start to spiral then, like almost like because you're feeling that way, your brain or your body starts like bringing up things that you're actually anxious about. It's almost like, maybe just I do that, but it's almost like, oh, this is the feeling of this, so this matches that. So now when you're feeling like this, all the scary stuff has to come up, and you think about those things in that state of like, oh my God.
Yeah. See, I like that. Like, that just makes me go like, oh, this is the energy. This is the energy I'm looking for. Is the anxious, jittery. Like, oh, now I can do something with this energy.
Yeah, and I spiral. I do something with it. It's called sadness.
Yeah, I don't do that.
It's called panic. It's called my life's falling apart.
You have a lot of demons, huh? Figure those demons out.
Like, I do and I don't. I think it's just like it starts to become overwhelming because of the state that I'm in. Like, it's almost like I'm not leveled. It's like when you are like have too much to drink. It's like, oh, I'm not thinking about things maybe as normally as I would.
Yeah.
Without drinks. That it's kind of that same thing of like, I'm thinking about this in a panic state. So everything that I'm thinking about is going to be a little bit stressed.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
But if I do something physical, then it helps go away. I almost like need to use the energy so that my brain doesn't use it.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, that's maybe just the natural direction I go with it. It's like, if I'm having that much caffeine, I'm typically doing something that, like, I just took a bunch of pre-workout and I'm going to work out, or like I'm having more coffee because I know I'm going to go do something that requires more energy. So it's almost like in tandem that's happening. I'm rarely like all of a sudden just like sitting on the couch. I'm like, wow, I am feeling very jittery and anxious. It's like, I would never have enough coffee or like caffeine to, I only do more caffeine if I feel like I'm going to need more, energy or focus for something that I'm doing. I
just always feel like I could use that.
Yeah, well,
that's like
you're an addict.
There's no time in the day where I'm like, energy drink would ruin this. More caffeine would ruin this.
I use caffeine as, like, I utilize it.
I do too.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you just...
I do. It's probably how some people like would use drugs, I would say. It's like, ooh, this is going to boost me up. It's like like you said, like you don't get the like enhanced feeling from it. So it's like, ooh, I'm going to get more jazzed with this. And why would you not want to always be more jazzed?
And it's hilarious to me to think that you think you need any more jazz than you already have.
Well, because what I'm projecting maybe isn't what is happening. You know, it's like I want to be feeling like I'm in it, not like, oh, I got to be in it. It's like I want to like.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where it's like I don't know. The things that we're doing is different. You're like, oh, I want to be more in it, and you're sitting there on the computer working. So it's like that would never be the situation for me.
I think that's like what we talked about before of like the motivation kind of stuff. It's almost like this is my liquid motivation sometimes. It like just gets me a little bit more ready to go for it.
I know, but isn't it something weird because like, and maybe you're different, but it doesn't feel the same if it's like not caffeine though.
What do you mean?
Like if like to get more into it, you can't just like go have a glass of milk to get into it. Like that's not going to be a fun drink to get going. You know, it's like for me it has to be something that's caffeinated. And I think there's something to the like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this.
I think
like
I
really
know caffeine probably makes me feel that way, so that's going to work.
Yeah, true. Cuz like I can't do that. I don't really feel that or get that from like a LaCroix.
No.
It's like it doesn't bring enough fun to it.
No.
It doesn't bring enough, you know. That's why I think it's like, oh, maybe I'm not really supposed to do this. Like, oh, this is a little bit more caffeine than I'm usually have, or it's a little too late.
See,
it's a little naughty.
That's where you're scary.
Why?
That is where you're scary, guy.
I'm not scary. You're scary.
You get jazzed by doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I don't. That makes me feel I don't like that at all. I like feeling controlled of like, yep, I'm going to have a lot of caffeine today. Not like, ooh, no one's going to know, or I'm going to have a lot of caffeine and that's bad. It's like,
yeah.
No, I want it to be so intentional. Like, yeah, I'm having a lot of caffeine today. Not like, ooh, I shouldn't. Like, the naughtiness of it doesn't do anything for me. Like, I shouldn't do it, and I do that. I hate that feeling. That just is
You're
like...
so lame. You're so lame.
That's why I was like
no excitement.
Good kid. Because I was like, oh, I can never break rules. Because I'm going to feel like shit about it. I'd rather, like, know it's on the up and up and then do something. To where, like, the caffeine, it's like I make my own rules with that.
Wow. Hardcore. Make
Boss.
your own rules.
That, clip it.
I was right. That's a little too much.
Oh, this
too
smells.
Much flavor.
You will. Moments like this is where I'm like, we're not the same. We don't connect in this level.
You're gonna say like it smells like a lake in Ohio that I went to once. It's too much. Too much flavor.
Oh. It is a lot of flavor, but I like it.
Too berry.
But it's weird. It does not smell. The taste don't match. It smells exactly like the blue suckers that you would get at Pizza Hut. The blue ones, not the like the bubble gum cotton candy ones, like the strict like ice blue.
See what I'm dealing with, people?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you're not trash.
See what I'm dealing with? Like
that used to be Kara's favorite flavor was the blue one.
These ridiculous.
Do you want to take a guess what my favorite flavor was of a sucker? Of those, like the little ones.
Like the Dum Dums?
Yes.
What they are? Ooh, peach.
Nope. That's a new phase for me.
Root beer? Yeah. Only took me 2.
Okay, what do you think my favorite flavor was of the big suckers?
I don't even know what the big suckers are.
The big suckers.
Caramel apple.
No. You know what I want, apple.
I don't know. I don't know what the big suckers are, so it's gonna be hard for me to figure out. Because I know like Dum Dum flavors.
The ones that, well, I guess the Dum Dum too. Like they have like gum in the middle.
Those
They're
big
really
suckers?
big one. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say like Gumball or something or bubble gum.
No.
What?
I don't think there's a bubblegum flavor. It's whatever the red one was. That's my
So
favorite.
you don't even know the flavor?
I don't know. I know just the color. I know it's the reds. The red ones I like.
What was my favorite color? Her favorite flavor, and then it's just a color.
Well,
Nobody's gonna guess red.
If you would have guessed like strawberry or raspberry, I'd be like, it's probably right because it's whatever the red one is.
It's the worst game ever.
No, because you probably had more guesses that were correct.
Oh my gosh. Terrible.
So what was your? I don't want to say entrance, but that's not the correct word. What was your? Thinking. Tick tock, tick tock. First experiences of your workout fitness journey.
Well, I mean, you could go sports. That's the first thing, but that's every kid tends to do that or something like that. I actually think the first sport, like organized sport I ever played was soccer. If I remember right. I think I did soccer and was on like the neon green team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a comedian that has that joke or something.
yeah.
Like I was on the orange team.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that's such a universal
Everybody knows that.
Everybody that was
Yeah. Because when you start, you're probably like 3 or 4. That's like the only way you're gonna know what.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And how you just separate the teams. Super simple. Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's like soccer did not stick.
I wonder if you can start soccer younger because I feel like a lot of kids start with soccer.
Yeah, probably. But I think I only played like 1 year.
And you can mix boy and girl.
Yes.
I don't think you really do that with even like basketball.
No, I don't remember doing that in basketball. Yeah, soccer. That's so weird to me. But yeah, I don't know. Soccer and then it was football. And then I think I did baseball a little bit, but that didn't last long either. Baseball was not my thing. I did not enjoy it.
I did t-ball.
Isn't that weird? Like I did so many different things and it was like for you it was dance and then that's it. I mean, I guess you did play basketball or
I played soccer, basketball, and t-ball. So that's like the younger version of. But it was just like it. I maybe would have stayed with some of them more. It was just the scheduling wouldn't work.
Yeah, dance is demanding.
It was just like specifically where it was demanding. Like I wasn't dancing that many nights a week, but the games were always the same day as rehearsal for dance. So it was like you either do basketball or this, but neither one of them, which is I think how it should be. Like neither one of them were like, well, you can do some of this and some of that. It was like you got to be fully into one, and it was just like the days perfectly lined up that. But my parents let me choose. I remember it was like one of the last games, and they're like, because my dad was a coach. He's like, next season it's gonna be this, and if we're gonna do dance, and it's gonna be like you doing the competition team or the company, it's gonna be the same. So like, which one would you rather do? Yeah. And I was like, I just choose to do dance. Like if I gotta pick, I'll pick that one.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like if at that age I knew, like, oh, I'll just try this and see how it goes, and then maybe I'll come back to basketball, or if it was, this is just gonna be my thing. Because I don't really remember like venturing in, like wanting to do anything else after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That whole, it's like I barely remember any of that. Like I don't even remember having conversations about what do you want to do? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I'm sure I made all of the decisions. That's just how like we were raised, was like, what do you want to do? And you can pick. Like you're going to have to pick between these two, like soccer or football, and you're going to have to, mix it up or whatever. But it was basically growing up was basketball, football. That's what I did pretty much the whole time. Which
works seasons.
Yeah, and I think that's why it worked season-wise. And then like springtime, there just really wasn't anything when you're young and growing up, I don't think, because boys soccer is in the fall alongside alongside football. Baseball's the spring one, and I just did not like baseball.
Yeah.
I didn't take to it. But I don't know, like the whole just that regular thing, and then getting into like weight training was with my brother, and I don't remember if we started off and he had a home gym or we were going to a gym. I think we started off at the home gym because I think I remember being in middle school and going to his house, having to get like dropped off, or he would pick me up or he would take me or whatever. And starting off working out there, and then we eventually like moved into going to the gym. And then I want to say like we later on went back to his place again or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it was like middle school and then starting off at a home gym, which is like just the best way, I think, to start.
Weren't there days or like a section of time where you would either like get up super early or stay up super late because it would be like off of his work schedule?
Yeah, that was when I was in high school, later on in high school. He was on second shift, so like he would get done and come home, and then I'd meet him at the gym at like 11:30 at night or something. We'd work out.
I hope
That's
like
the type
that.
of shit that I'm like, oh, I was so not aware of like how tired I was or any of that stuff. I was like, that just sounds fun, so I'm gonna go do that. It's like I would never fucking go do that now. Are you kidding me?
No, I know, and I hope I can be like that for my kids once they're like to the age of being able to like make crazy decisions like that. It's like you almost got to take out what you know of that's stupid. Why would you go at 11:30 when you have to get up at 6 or something for school? Yeah. Like that's the dumbest thing ever. But sure, I guess. Like I did so many things that didn't make sense, weren't safe, weren't
smart,
best for like
most efficient.
You know, no, but it's also like, yeah, but that was super cool, or like I was able to get this opportunity because of it, or you're able to like have that time with your brother and be able to figure out working out and do all that. Like that's fun.
Yeah, well, and it's like I think you kind of have to allow that to happen because they then experience those things. Yeah. And then get to look back and go, yeah, that was stupid or not a good way to do it or not efficient. Yeah. Or it's like, yeah, mine and his relationship probably grew a lot because of that random time spending together working out. Yeah. And like it's super late at night and it's like there's different things that come from all those different things, but it's like you have to let the kid go experiment and do stupid shit so that they can figure it out themselves. Because that's also just like totally how I was as a kid. So it's like, I'm not going to listen to what you say. I'm going to go do it and see for myself. And I'm still that way. And then I'll, be like, okay, does this work for me or not work for me?
And there's something about putting yourself in like those hard situations to that like build your character to that extreme, but like it shows you like, okay, how do you act in this scenario? Like the one that I can always think of is like I went to Chicago and I took classes all night, and then we were like shooting a video or had something, and we were there till 4 a.m. and it was a school day the next day, and we were driving back and the sun was coming up, and it's just like that clock. It's just like, oh, now I get 2 hours sleep. Yep. Oh, now I get an hour of sleep. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to get ready for school 30 minutes after I get home by this. And just like, I remember getting home, going to the bathroom and like starting to get ready. And my dad's waking up for work, and he was like, what time did you get home? I was like, I just got home. Like, I haven't slept. He was like, so you're not going to go to school? And I was like, no. Like, I decided like it's more crazy to go to school. Yeah. So let's go to school. Like, it was almost like,
you just picked the crazier option.
This is so insane. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
And
you lose that as you get older.
Well, and it's almost like I know I can do that. So now I know like it's in there if I need it. I don't need it. Yeah. But those times where like I don't have a lot of sleep, it's like how was I at school the next day? Or just like sometimes I love that like this is so not. That's maybe where I'm a little bit like that. Yeah. Where it's like I love pushing myself to the limit, and it's like almost unhealthy sometimes, and it's just like another energy drink. Let's go. Like
yeah. I don't know. It's like, and then I think back to those times, and it's like I don't remember like being tired the next day or any of that bullshit. It's like I remember going and working out and it
Yeah.
being fun, and like I think about it as a fun experience.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, some of that is like, sure, maybe it's not great for your health or like you're not going to get good sleep or all that, but it's like, okay, now that I think back to it, freaking like almost 10 years later, it's like I only think about how fun that was and
Oh yeah.
cool that was.
Yeah.
Which maybe is not the best advice, but
No, I think that's awesome because it's like, I don't know, each kid has their own things too, but like I didn't party or drink or do anything like that. So
Loser.
my crazy with that, it was like I'm living.
Such a loser.
Like
Such a nerd. Such a loser nerd.
But then I think of that as like people weren't.
I just did my homework and danced.
But it's like that's like people weren't doing that. Who was going to Chicago 3 times a week by themselves and like
Right.
the stuff that I was getting to do. Like I remember one time I was in Chicago for a week doing rehearsals all week, and then the show that I was doing, maybe it was like a Thursday or Friday or something. We were at like this bar in Chicago and we were up till again like super late at night. Came back the next day and like went to school again. I was just like so random. Like,
Yeah.
What am I doing here? And then it was prom. And it was just like living these two other worlds of, I just spent the week with like 30-year-olds and this is their life and career and jobs. And like, I'm going to prom.
Yeah.
But like, I'm making both of them work.
Yeah.
And like, that's my
You're
life.
living 2 different lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like having to leave study hall once to talk to this one lady that I was like going to work for her for this job thing. And we were like setting up the details and like what I was going to get paid. And then she heard the bell ring and she's like, oh my God. She's like, I forgot, like, you're still in high school. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, my study hall's over. I gotta go. It's just like, I was managing both of those things.
Oh my God.
But that was my like way of,
That's so funny.
ooh, I'm living. Like, I'm doing something different or crazy.
You're just like, oh man, I should really get home. I got school tomorrow. Like, oh yeah, what college did you go to? I'm
Not
actually
in high
still
school.
in high school.
I'm 6. My dad's actually picking me up. I don't even drive yet.
I actually have prom tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, my dad's picking me up. Oh shoot, my dad's here.
But I
Oh
had
my
so
God.
many of those kinds of things, especially during high school, where
Yeah.
I was like just doing random jobs like that, or just like going all over working with people. And I'm like, oh, I'm like 15 years younger than everybody here, but like that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like my like being around partying and drinking and drugs was like, oh, full grown adults. Like you're legally able to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But-
And then you're like, oh, 30-year-olds are no different than 16-year-olds. Weird.
Right. Like, okay, so haven't really escaped it, but it's,
Yeah. Yeah. you're
I'm
like,
not gonna see you on
I'm gonna
Monday,
be around
though."
sophisticated people, and that's just the same. Yeah, we both definitely have that of like, we get a real thrill out of the crazy. It's like, going to, like, moving to California. It's like, we're gonna drive straight through. It's like we're driving straight through. We're taking turns, but then it's like, there is some of that stuff that like, it's like, yeah, now we have a cool, fun story of that, and it also was awesome during the time. It's like, we get stuck in a freaking huge rainstorm where you can't see where you're driving in, what was it, Nebraska or something?
There was a couple of them. I don't know.
Iowa
which-
or Nebraska.
I don't know.
So it's like we have to pull off on the side of the road. It's like, oh man, now we got to wait, an hour or two, and now it extends our time getting there. But then it's like we're driving through and the sun is rising in Utah where there's like crazy mountains and the landscape is awesome. It's like you don't get that, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. driving through Utah with that sunrise and the pictures that we got of it and everything. It's like and like there's a hurricane here and we just go, okay, get our shit and go. Like we
Yeah.
made a decision in 2 hours and just left.
Yeah.
Like that is definitely we like the crazy.
A combined trait. Yeah.
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 We like the crazy, like last second kind of, maybe we shouldn't do this type of thing. But
I
they don't have
like
that big of consequences as the,
No.
you
No.
know.
Well, I like those things when it's on myself. Like I'm the one dealing with the consequences, or I'm the one
Yeah.
that's like, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I do. I like pushing the boundaries with that kind of stuff.
Which is so weird because I would not see myself as like a spontaneous person. Like we're both very like planners.
Yeah.
That it's weird that maybe that's why we like it is because it's kind of out of the normal for us. The little bit of spontaneity that comes up sometimes that we try to go do or take advantage of. But
Which is weird. I like spontaneous things when it's bigger things.
Yeah.
Like the leaving for the hurricane. That level is my I feed off of that.
Yeah.
But if it was like, let's go to a movie today.
It's
I'm
not
like,
enough.
oh, now I didn't plan my day. Like
Right.
that now kind of like messes it up and it's not fun because now I'm
Yeah.
thinking about the stress of going to the movies and now I'm not doing everything. Towards like,
We
we wake up and it's like, should we leave? We don't have a car. It's in the shop. Okay, so now we got to figure out a rental car and pack your shit up. And what's like, if you're okay with it being destroyed, what are you okay with that? And like,
Yeah.
the intensity of the emotions and just like, get in the car and just, okay, now we have a 12-hour day of driving that we didn't plan for 2 hours ago when we woke up.
And now you gotta tough it out and deal with it. Yeah.
That, oh my, oh.
Yeah.
That's love that.
That's what's bad
I
about
love
us.
that.
It's like we only like spontaneous things when it completely changes our entire life. It's not like the movie thing where you can just let's like go do this fun thing. It's like no, it has to completely upend everything we have ever done.
Which and maybe it's because deep down I know it's not going to hurt much.
Yeah, probably, but
like
it still is like it takes so much. Like in that way, we are the person that like New Year's resolution, I'm just going to start working out 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what? Why don't you just like sprinkle it a little bit? We're so boring life day to day. And then it's like we have to have these extreme things to, get our interest and do something different where it's like, why don't you just sprinkle it a little bit throughout the week or the months?
Yeah, I almost don't like when I can give myself time to adapt. I like throwing myself in the fire and like, you better figure it out. You're going to drown. Like, I like just the like intensity of that. But I also don't do that with everything. Like, almost like I kind of know like what can you handle and what can you not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That.
Well, kind of. There's a little bit of like, you can probably handle it, but there's still a little question of it.
Yeah, true.
It's like how many times we've moved and had to make that work and,
yeah,
put all that thing together and time everything and, the crazy just like, oh, we're leaving, let's go. It's like there's a little bit that's like, oh, shit, am I going to be able to figure this out? Am I going to be able to, restart and set everything up and whatever? Like,
and maybe that's why I like when things get crazy that I don't have the choice over.
Yeah, that's why you loved COVID.
The hurricane. Like, I love things like that where if it completely washed my whole life away, it's like, that wasn't a choice. Like, because then it's like, the blame isn't on me. It's like, oh, everything was washed away and I have to restart. But it wasn't like, that was a bad idea. Why did you do that? It's like, I'm just dealing with it. And it's like, okay, deal with it. Yeah. You don't have to deal with the why or why did you think of that or why did you make that happen? It was just like, action, make it work.
Yeah, I think every adult has that kind of secret fantasy of like, oh, I kind of wish like everything were just to crumble underneath me so I can figure out a new everything.
This says so much about us, but how many times were like, wouldn't it be cool to just like disappear?
Yeah.
Just like leave and like don't tell anybody, don't like just like go to a different country. It's like when you watch a movie and they like do something illegal or like something really crazy and they have to like escape.
Yeah.
And like just like leave the country so
like,
that they don't get found.
You're not going to be able to you can't contact these people. You can't like you have to change your name. You have to here's a new passport and ID. And then here's like just a chunk of money and a gun.
There's something about that is so intriguing to me. Where it's like I don't know. And it's not even like, oh, it's because I want to leave everything in my life. Like, I love my life. I love the people in it. It's just
the
something.
Adventure
It's
of something.
The craziness of you were forced to do this.
Yep.
So you have to, like, it doesn't even need to make sense. Like, you're not building a life for the future. Like, you're just surviving right now. Go to a different country. Like, I don't know. There's something so, like I want to just be something so different.
I think everybody wants that.
I don't know. I want to know how many people that they would listen to this are like, I have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not. Like,
true.
No.
That is true. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the, like, almost like the weird skill that we've learned because of how many times we've moved. Is it's like we know a little bit how that goes, and just, you know, kind of restarting and figuring things out. We've had a little bit of practice of it. That's just like, oh, we want it more extreme now.
Yeah. I just love,
I think about
love
that
the extremes.
so much of like, what happens if you die? I think about this like once a month. It's like, what if she dies?
Wait a minute,
What am I going to do? How am I going to, and it's like, there's like, I don't want you to die, but at the same time, my whole life would change.
I don't know if my life would change that much, to be honest.
Oh, I would like upend everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Which is so crazy. Like, what are you doing for me then? Everything? You're living your whole life just because I'm around. I'm like, I'd probably just like get another guy in here. Like, it wouldn't really.
You just
like,
walk out the apartment complex.
Like, I maybe wouldn't even like move. I would just like see if I can switch the name on the lease.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would. Everything would be different.
I really wouldn't change that much, I don't think. I don't know. I feel like maybe would I move somewhere else, but where? It would probably be bad for me. I think I'd probably just like work way more.
Yeah, zero balance.
I'd work way more.
Yeah.
I'd maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could either it could either stay the exact same, or
I think I don't know. Maybe it is just me, but I feel like it's so interesting to me to think about like
what would you do?
a completely different life. Just like just switching everything up and just like we're going to do everything different. You know what I mean?
Well, what would you change?
I don't even know. Like it wouldn't even
You just know it wouldn't be this.
Well, it's like for this scenario, or for like us and like being here and what, I don't know, just like what we like and all that. It's like to me it's like we've created a life of what we like, and you know, a relationship and dynamic, whatever, and it's like that's awesome, and you go on. It's like I want now another life to just do something different. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a thing of like I hope reincarnation's real, because like I just want to live life like 1,000 different ways.
Oh, totally.
You know
I get
what I mean?
that. Yeah,
Like,
I totally get that.
And it's like, because it's like what you said, like this is cool and this is awesome, like I like this, but there's that intrigue too of like,
but I'd probably like something else too.
Yeah, I like something else, and what it like I can make it totally different.
It's almost like when you play what is that, the game Life?
Sims.
No, wasn't it the game Life where you like choose? No, this was like one of those
computer game.
No.
Oh.
It was one of those like school bus games where you like wrote on a piece of paper. Maybe just girls did this, but like it would be like, what car do you want? What kind of house would you want? Where would you live?
Is that stupid like?
It kind of is like that. Oh yeah, it's actually exactly like that. Where you'd write on a notebook.
1, 2, 3.
You'd write on a notebook like house, car, where you'd live, what would your job be?
Yeah.
Who would you be with or whatever, and then you would do the little thing, and then depending on what it was, it would kind of like fill in the blanks of what you'd be.
Yeah.
It's almost like I would want a bunch of different versions of those.
Yeah.
I think we talk about this all the time, but like, yeah, it's like I would love to experience like growing up and like heavily doing a sport.
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah, it's like
living on the East Coast for most of my life, like going to New York right away.
Yeah.
And living that, or like being in like a company, like doing like a regular person job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even like taking your same life, but just like making one difference. You know, it's like I focus so much on football. It's like, okay, what if I just focused on basketball? What would that look like then?
Yeah.
And how would that be different? It's like, I don't know, any of those things. Be so interesting. That's why I'm like, I think it's that like excuse thing. You know, it's like COVID happening or the hurricane. It's like you have a built-in excuse of like, oh, we can be crazy and this is fine. Mm-hmm. Like it's not our fault. Mm-hmm. It's like what you said about it not, you didn't make the decision. Like something made it for you.
Well, I think, I don't want to say a lot of people because, I don't know, but I think what we heard maybe a lot of just with who we listened to with COVID happening, it was a lot of like pressure taken off because it's almost like the world was paused at least where we were at, because we were in California, so it really
Yeah.
felt like everything stopped, that it put a pause on everything, so it wasn't that continuous
The grind.
get better, be better than the
Yeah.
next person, like always keep achieving new things. It's like, oh, no one's doing that, so it gave you a second to like, oh, we can just like live.
Yeah. Which gave, I think, a ton of people like, oh, I didn't realize how much this sucks.
Sure.
And I don't want to do this anymore. I want to change this. You know, I was training people that were like, one person specifically, it's like, he was a lawyer, and it was like, I hate this. This sucks.
Mhm.
Like, I'm working 16-hour days, like 6 days a week, and then the 7th day I'm usually getting called in and have to work another 10-hour day. It's like, that is insane. And just that, like, everything kind of pausing and stopping, and even if it wasn't like a lot for people, it was enough of a like break for a second that it gave you a little bit of time to go like, whoa, this is not what I'm wanting.
Right.
Or this is not cool. Or this is not, like, this is way too much. I need to figure something else out. That's so rare, I feel like. That type of stuff only happens, like, I think individually in your life, to where for the whole country, world to stop at the same time.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, you know, somebody dies in your family and it kind of makes you stop for a second and think about stuff. Or, you know, you get fired and lose your job, or whatever individual thing happens, but it's only happening to you. For it to happen to everybody at the same time, like, that is weird. That's like once in a freaking multi-generation type thing.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen hardly at all. That's weird. It's crazy. And it even happens just in locations too. You know, a hurricane here. It's like, well, really only it's more people, but only that group that lives here feels that. And, you know, even then it's like only the people in that certain area. It's like nothing happened to us or our place. So it's like we didn't even feel that much of it, but we felt a little bit more of it because it affected us and made us leave. I don't know. It's just weird for the whole country, world to stop for a second. That's so weird. And it just, I almost think it like made people go like more extreme both ways, of like, people got way, way, way better and more secure and like figured their shit out, or people got way weirder and way more confused and awkward. It's like,
because
not
they
many
got
people
more
stayed.
into their thoughts.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's
Not
scary.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Or you just, it's almost like when, it's like I said, when you push yourself, you kind of get to see how you act in that scenario. It's like for a lot of people, that was probably one of the more stressful times in their maybe life.
Yeah.
Whether, you know, it was not able to work, and if their identity is really wrapped up into work, and now you take that away, and now it's like, who are you when you can't do your thing? Or, you know, people getting sick around them or dying around them. It's like you have so many of the big life changes that you have in one, that it's almost like, oh, how do you act? And some people got weird.
Yeah. Somebody got weird.
It's like, oh, not good traits come out of you when you get pushed to the fire.
Yeah.
It's like you fight back and you're funky about it.
Yeah. Some people stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, some people, like, I don't know, took it on the chin and just went.
And it's cool to see how many people like adapted with it. Like, oh, okay, I'm still going to be successful in whatever this is. It's like almost like this is the new medium, so how do I make this work?
Yeah.
And still be at the top of my game with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like still like trying to self-improve, or it's like, I actually don't like where I live or how this is being handled. I'm going to bounce. Or like, this is now the time to make the change because everybody's kind of chill.
Yeah.
That people went for it. But
I think to somewhat circle back to kind of the conversation we wanted to talk about, like working out and what it looks like then and versus now and that sort of thing. Like,
oh yeah, I didn't even say a thing.
Yeah. What was your, like,
when
did you start? I mean, you were primarily dance, but like, when did you start?
Oh, that's right, because we talked about that.
Lifting, or what did you start with? You know, it's like I happened to start with lifting, where some people start with like cardio or, Some people jump into CrossFit. Like, did you just start like going on the treadmill right away?
No,
Typical.
I hated cardio. I've always hated cardio. I think that was just like,
Which is so weird because that's literally what dance is. It's like all cardio all the time.
yeah, but the types of cardio that are like structured in a gym environment, I still was not good at. Like, it was still uncomfortable for me or whatever. It's like I was almost like I'm only good and have good endurance in that specific thing. Like, it's not as universal.
Yeah.
But I started working out with my dad, and he's always been just like weight training, so that's what I was introduced to. When I was younger, I would say I probably started not consistently, but I like kind of started dabbling in it maybe when I was like 11, 12, maybe. But I would hate going to the gym because if I saw boys from school there, it was just like get me. Like, I could not handle the embarrassment. Like,
Yeah.
it was like one of those ages where like they can't see me doing anything, period, or like, and then especially like physical, like I'm doing something on purpose. I don't know. It's like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm choosing to do this, and you're watching me do this.
Well, there's a weird. I feel like we kind of grew up in the weird time of like.
It was weird for girls to do that.
And it was like right at that transition to where now it's like the cool thing to do.
Right.
In a way, you know, it's like everybody's talking about or posting going to the gym and all that kind of stuff now. To where it was like the fact that you felt uncomfortable or weird if somebody were to see you there that you knew. To where it's like it's totally opposite now. That
Right.
If like if somebody your age went now, it'd be like, yeah, look, I'm at the gym, like I'm cool and I'm doing all this cool stuff. Towards like, I don't know, that's interesting of like how different it is now.
And I don't know if it was because it was seen as like a boy thing, so I'm doing a boy thing.
Is that how you felt?
I feel like like it was like, oh, I'm doing a boy thing, and you're seeing me do that.
Yeah.
Whereas like I was so like I'm a girly girl, and that's what like I don't want you to see me wear like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's like that was too much of like a boy thing. It's like you're seeing me in a t-shirt and shorts. Like that's not girly.
Yeah.
And I don't like that you're seeing me like that. And now I'm like doing something physically exerting. It's like I was a girl that like I didn't want to be embarrassed in gym. Well, so now you're going to see me doing it on my own time.
That's a weird thing for girls in general, I think. It's like seeing physical exertion. Like having boys see you do physical exertion is like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which is odd to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's like
because it's probably
it's
not
girly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably mostly what it boils down to.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it is. It's just like it's just not girly.
So what do you think was the like, I don't know, with what we do now, I guess, as far as exercising, what do you think was the stupidest thing that you were doing then?
Well, I was gonna say I started when I was like 11 or 12, and then I probably didn't get back into it more seriously until like 14.
I was probably the same. Like, no, that's even earlier than me.
And even that, it was like I'm not going all the time. It was like I'd maybe go, every once in a while. My dad was like when I wasn't dancing, probably a little bit more in the summertime. The dumbest thing was probably just worried about doing too much and not eating.
Oh, I mean like silly, stupid, not like
what wasn't beneficial.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I did a lot of stupid stuff.
Well, it's like I'm thinking about like different exercises and stuff that would kind of float through and people would be doing and that sort of thing. It's like some of the like I feel like the dumbest thing I probably did was like go over to the Smith machine and set it up so the bench is with the bar and then hooking in like a narrow grip and like doing like narrow grip press. Just like
I probably didn't do anything stupid like that until I started working out on my own, to where my dad was just doing like regular things. Like he would probably never venture out of doing the traditional lifts because that would be seen as stupid. So like I started with just like the very generic lifts. But when I started doing stuff on my own, I think that's when it got stupid. Like I remember doing with like the leg extension, I would flip around the other way and basically do like basically like kickbacks almost. But I just
Okay,
like
yeah.
wanted them to be like really weighted. I didn't want to use the bands, so I was like, how do you make it really weighted and to
Yeah.
basically do kickbacks? I try to do kickbacks also with on the Smith machine. Like I'd be on like all fours and then put my feet on it and push up.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I remember that. People doing that a lot, actually.
trying to think. I don't know if there
Yeah.
was a lot of other things like that. I was very lucky with working out that I had so much guidance
Yeah, same.
like the whole time that I did some stupid stuff, but that's why I always say like I am so grateful that when I started working out on my own, all of like the boys from school were there and they were just like willing to help me. So it's like I don't think I would do anything stupid because they'd be like, that's stupid, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or like I would just like work out with you guys that you guys were doing regular things.
Yeah. Some of them would do stupid
It's
stuff
like
still, but
you're not doing like the bands like the booty builder type
Yeah,
workouts
yeah.
with the bands. Like I wasn't doing that because you guys weren't doing that.
Yeah.
It's like you were teaching me like how to squat and how to deadlift and how to overhead press and chest press
Yeah.
with the bar and like doing it heavy because you guys were doing it heavy and you didn't want to keep changing the weight so much that
Yeah.
I just learned how to do those things right away and that was my baseline. So it was like, oh, this is all I know.
Yeah, we both got lucky in that way of just like the guidance of
Yeah.
not doing stupid stuff. The biggest thing, the gym etiquette stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fine with anybody doing any exercise or trying something different, trying to be creative and figure something out. Like I think I'm that way too of like I'm trying to find different ways to do different stuff, and I don't know. It's like that stuff doesn't bother me, but it's when you have zero gym etiquette and you're doing that stuff, it's like now it's just the doubling of like it's funny, it's like I go like this happened the other day I think at the gym where I was like, this person wouldn't bug me with what they're doing so much if they weren't such a douche about it. It's like
Sure.
but now that you have zero gym etiquette, I'm now pissed at all the dumb shit exercises that you're doing.
Sure.
It's like it wouldn't bother me, but you're just like being loud and grunting and you're taking up, every bench in the room
Yeah.
and
Leaving your weights everywhere.
leaving your weights everywhere, and then now you're doing stupid exercises. So where it's like if you weren't like taking up all the space and you were just doing stupid exercises, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like
Yeah.
experimenting, trying different things.
Yeah. Because you also don't know maybe why they're doing that.
He's going through a process,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like because you have zero gym etiquette, now I'm like,
It does bother me. Yeah.
you're bothering me in every category now.
Yeah.
People need to like go to a class first about gym etiquette before you're able to sign up.
Well, it's weird that there's not like, I don't know, because it's one of those very common sense things that everybody just starts to pick up. But it's like, why do we all know? It's like, there's not like,
But we don't all know. That's
we
what's
don't all
crazy.
know, but I think it's less prevalent. I don't know. Like, to me, they're common sense in the like, would you do this in the regular world? Like, you leave your weights everywhere. It's like, when would you just walk around and like leave your stuff?
Everybody does that.
But like, would
all
you
the
do
time.
that?
Like, go to the grocery store. Why is the freaking Oreos put in the milk spot?
But okay, but
People will just
don't
take
you
shit and then go,
think-
I actually don't want this, so I'm just gonna.
but do you think they know that that's wrong and they just don't care? Or do you?
Yes.
Okay, so then that's what I'm saying. Like, you know this, you're just purposely not doing it. So it's like you have enough common sense to know I'm not going to leave my dumbbells just freaking everywhere. Or when you're done with the machine, why aren't you taking the weights off? Or you're standing in front of someone looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to me, that's like, it's not that like sneaky.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not that complicated of things.
no, it's really not. Yeah, it's
It's
not.
like clean up after yourself and like look at your surroundings. You
Yeah.
should be doing that everywhere you go, anywhere.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Like, people just don't have. And go to the grocery store. Why is there a cart in the middle of a fucking parking stall?
Sure, yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere. It's like that person knows they should take that back. It's just they're lazy. It's just like putting your weights away. You're
Yeah.
just lazy.
That's the thing. I don't think if you told them beforehand, they would do anything about it. It's like subconsciously or somewhere or consciously,
Well,
they know
and
that
in
they're
the
doing
gyms,
that.
most of them have signs
Yeah.
that say
Re-rack your weights.
re-rack your weights.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but people just, I don't know, whatever. That's a whole other
Blah, blah, blah.
podcast about the freaking entitlement here. It's ridiculous.
You see that here, but it's just everywhere.
Well, I'm here. I'm talking about the U.S.
Okay.
Talking about everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's just entitled to fucking everything now. That's like, oh, just hire somebody to pick up the weights. It's like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah.
Get a grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was introduced in a good way, I think. A good way in the sense of I didn't have to go through a lot of trial periods of figuring things out and then it being maybe wrong or whatever, that I got to at least how I think of fitness, like I was introduced to it through strength training.
Yeah.
And like lifting a lot of weight was cool because I was working out with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think if I would maybe started on my own, it would have been like, oh, just do lighter weights and I did think that like, I'm going to get bulky. And then you guys are like, see how hard it is to look like this?
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for you too.
Well, I think that's I guess like a little bit of advice for people starting off is like, try to find somebody that has some experience because you can cut through all the bullshit right away. Because most people that start off and just like start on their own, they just are fad hopping.
Yeah.
Whatever the fad is right now, I'm just going to hop to that. And then the next one comes and they do that for how many years and don't get where they want to go because they're just, they're doing the booty builder bands and doing kickbacks every freaking day. And they're just doing a bunch of random crap that they see, on social media or just whatever the cool new thing is, that you end up wasting a lot of time to where like, that's where we were both lucky of, we didn't waste much time right away. It's like the stuff that you did in the beginning of working out is pretty much the same thing as what you're doing now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's maybe programmed and organized differently, but it's like you're doing barbell squats, you're doing, dumbbell rows, you're doing bench press. Like, you're not doing just like go on every machine and just do the cable flies or, everything is super lightweight, like you said. And so I don't know, we got lucky with that right away.
And just like focusing on things that matter, like really learning how to push yourself with the weight, learning like the importance of form and learning how to utilize what, and even like programming, like between all the guys, like you during certain phases doing more bodybuilding style and some of the other guys doing more bodybuilding style, but then also like doing more like the football workouts where you're having me do kind of like what you're doing now with the kids. Like you'd have me go under the, like do squats and then jump squats.
Yeah.
And like having to feel kind of the difference of that. And even that there is like a difference in programming. It's not just like everybody's doing the same thing.
Right.
Like this is the goal. This is kind of what you want to do. This is the best way to get to that. And even like diet too. Like certain parts where you were bulking and like hearing what you were eating, or then someone else that we were working out with, like he was preparing for a show. It's just like then hearing how he was like restricting and like figuring out his macros and stuff. That's like, oh, this is such a big, vast world of everything that kind of correlates with this.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. I was just like super intrigued by it right away, but
we went.
It was cool.
Like we were going through it at such a weird time where it started to become cool to go to the gym. And it's like we were like in high school and this was happening. So it's like, we talked about this before too, of like, it was very weird of like, we would have our senior year, we had gym class at the end of the day. And then like 10 people from that class were all going to the same gym to go work out after. That's like, I don't think that was. And like, that happening.
Was cool. And especially as a girl, not being like, she's coming. Or like, Courtney's going to be there. It was like, I was a part of the group that's like, yeah, you going to the gym? Or like, of course we're going to the gym. Or all of us are going to the gym. Yeah. And just like, you guys willing to help me and it not being
a drag.
I'm in the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a weird transition. It's like you going from like, I don't want anybody to see me at the gym. Like, that'd be so awkward, uncomfortable, or weird, to then like, it's now cool to go to the gym, and now a bunch of us are going,
Yeah.
and we're all there. We're all like kind of working out together, doing
Yeah.
different things, but maybe, helping each other with stuff like I just don't I don't know. I don't think like many generations were doing that. It's like they go to the gym after school and work out together and
Yeah.
are creating this environment at the gym together. And then
Yeah.
it becomes this cool thing to go work out and whatever. And now it's just kind of continued, and
Yeah.
we're still doing it and still learning stuff and whatever. It's like such a weird, I don't know, just like nobody was doing that.
No.
And even like you take, the numbers, it's like, okay, so there's like 10 of us going.
Sure.
It's like out of not many people, out of a ton
Sure,
of people.
yeah.
There's not many people going, but I feel like it's more and more, the cool thing to do now. It's like you see younger and younger people at the gym. I think
Yeah.
probably more than ever now, because I don't know, it's like there's somewhat of an importance to it, or it's just like they see it on social media and it looks cool and it's a cool thing to do. So people are following it and kind of jumping along, and I don't know, such a weird time.
And I think they're making the girly parts of it still come alive, so it doesn't seem like it's just a boy thing anymore. And like they see girls like lifting heavy and doing deadlifts and squats, and like you still see them with muscle, and they don't look they don't look manly.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, I see it in the way that I would want or what I want to look like, or she's still very feminine and acts very feminine. Like no one's thinking she's like a tomboy.
Yeah.
Because she likes to work out.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's probably where that like, oh, if I put any effort in, a boy sees me, like they're gonna think I'm a tomboy.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like you have to be this delicate flower walking around all the time that doesn't put any effort in. For some reason, that's feminine. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Which I think
weird.
back
It's
then
like, yeah,
probably
because
was.
that's what I want. I want somebody that can't do anything ever.
But I wonder if at that age, maybe that was a thing. Or it was just me. I don't know. Like,
I think
to
that's
me,
like
it was just like
a 1920s thing, and now for some reason girls are still holding on to it.
it could be, yeah.
It's like I don't think any guy cares about like, oh, I never want to see her pick up a weight ever. It's like, yeah, that's what we're really stuck on.
Yeah. I don't know why that gets so weird.
Does something, oh, I hate it. I just want her to stand there, not do anything all the time. That's really what I want.
Well, even that's like, I don't want them seeing me wear a t-shirt.
So,
Like, that's what would throw me. It's
Yeah.
like, that's a boy shirt. Don't wear a t-shirt. Like,
So
they're going to see
silly.
you in a boy shirt.
Yeah.
And it was like the effort. Like, they're seeing me put in effort in this thing, and that's weird.
That might be a young person thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's
I
so
just, like, I
embarrassing
so
to,
did
like,
not want
try.
to be a tomboy or, like, seen as anything but super girly.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, this doesn't seem very girly. Because even at that time, like, there's not many girls here. So it must not be, like, a...
Yeah, true. And there's still, I mean, I think there's more girls now, I don't know, than I've seen ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's become so much more popular, it seems like.
Yeah. Because girls know how to monetize it seems like, too.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I think, like, for me, the working out was classic, like, split routine bodybuilder, chest day, back day. And
That's what I started with, too, yeah.
It's interesting how that's changed into, like, I don't know, like, the thing that I feel best doing is full body, which is so funny because when you think about, like, the way that I thought about it then, thinking about doing full body then, like, I would have never done it. I would have never done full body. Like, what I would think is, like, oh, they don't want to get strong. They don't want to, like, build their physique.
Fully maximize each body part.
Yeah, they don't want to, like, they don't care about aesthetic. Like, they're doing that because, like,
Your volume used to be insane.
Oh, and it's like nothing now.
What?
My volume?
Oh. Right now it's nothing. I thought you
Yeah.
were saying, like, looking back, it wasn't.
Oh, no, it was a lot
It was
then.
insane.
But that's what is so funny about it is it's like it was insane, yet it's like not that efficient,
Right.
And when you're only trying to play with volume to, get bigger, get stronger, or change the shape of your body, like you're gonna max out at some point. Like,
Yeah. Which you did pretty well with, like, the knowledge that you had. It's like, again, it's like talking about it could have been worse. It's like you did really good with
Well, it's like there's only so far you can go, and like
Yeah.
even then, I'm like I'm totally like I'm totally just breaking down my body. Like I'm just getting more and more like aches and strained, and I remember for a
You were doing
period
like
there.
a dirty bulk, like just that in general.
Well, it was like I would go do
That concept.
a chest and back day, and it would take me like 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
It was like, what am I
Oh
doing?
yeah.
Like this is crazy. And there was a while there too where I couldn't do chest press because my fucking neck would light up and
Yeah.
just like hurt and ache. Like while I was doing it, I had to take, a month or two off of doing chest press. And it was like not understanding like what that was then to where
Right.
thinking about it now, I'm like, yeah, you were too much strain on the body.
I remember
way
when
too much.
I was like getting really crazy into straight leg deadlifts, and I like tweaked my knee, and it was like so swollen for like weeks, and like the back of it was just like you could see it through leggings, like how my knee was funky and it would hurt.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't stop doing straight leg deadlifts
It was so dumb.
because it was like I can't not. That's where like I think my relationship with it got so crazy.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can't miss a day. I have to go every single day. Otherwise, like I'm gonna lose everything.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Lose what? Like.
Yep.
But I like couldn't not like. Oh, I'm injured, but I still gotta do it.
Yeah. You think one workout you miss is gonna like completely take you off track and alter everything and mess everything up. It's like that's why I kept trying to bench press, because it's like
I can't not.
I can't not, otherwise
You
like,
think
I'm
you're just
lose
gonna
all
like
this.
keep pushing through the injury?
Yeah,
It's
or
like,
it's just like gonna go
You're not gonna
away
get
or-
any of the benefits. Your muscle isn't gonna grow if you're injured doing
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
But it's like, but it might.
Yeah. Like, but I can't miss. So
Right.
what do I do? Yeah, it's that
So silly.
weird predicament you're in. That's like, no, you just need to take a break, dude. Like 2.5 hour workouts and you're only working 2 body parts. Like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, I remember working out with you during that time too, like certain times. And I was like, I guess this is just what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I guess
It's like,
this is working out.
no, it's not what it is. Like, this is not the best way to do it.
I'm like, oh, we're doing more? Oh, we're doing more? Oh, okay. It's like, I've been here for 3 hours, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's like,
stupid.
thank God I liked hanging out with you, but holy crap.
I was like, thank God I like the gym. Because I was like, I don't want to spend this much time here. What are we doing? And even then, it started to get like, I don't want to go there for 2.5 hours. Jesus Christ, this is so long.
After school, after practice.
Yeah. It's like, no. But yeah, just that
was
switch
nuts.
of like going to full body now, and I don't know, seeing like how much more, I don't know, seeing the benefits of it, and like seeing it's so much easier to increase volume when you're doing full body compared to the body part split. And something your dad had brought up too, of like you just feel more complete when you you do every body part, and like everything is kind of, it almost feels like you're just balanced out and everything got a little bit of work and you're good to go, rather than like just beat the shit out of my chest and now I'm walking out and it's like my chest is already sore or tired, and then you wake up the next day and you're just extremely sore in the chest, and it's like, yeah, but my back's fine. So then you go do it's like, I don't know, it's just this weird, like, it feels like you're full body, you're just like you're spinning all the dials to equal everything out.
Yeah.
To where like body part split, it feels like you just spin one dial so much until it's like so overused, and then it's like, okay, we can give this one a break. You go to the next dial, and then you just do that until it can't handle anymore. Then you go to the next one. It's like just doing a little bit of adjustments all the time.
I think my brain likes body part splits because it seems like I'm really compartmentalizing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm really working on these 2 things. Like, I only need to focus on these 2 things.
Yeah.
But I think like the kind of the everything, I think of like, okay, if I'm going to do like a full leg day, I really can't do like 3 big compound lifts and then some accessory work if I'm doing it all in one day. And then it's like, okay, so really only 2 of these exercises are like getting my full energy.
Yeah.
That,
Well,
like if I can do that every workout and give it my full energy for that.
and that at that time too, it was like it was almost like about how sore you could get. Like if you weren't sore
Yeah.
the next day or 2 days after, like you didn't feel like you did enough, so then you'd push it even more the next time. So it's just like that whole thought and advice like just isn't really true, and it's not like it's just not how it works, and we know that now that now it's like if we get super sore from something or sore, really at all, it's like, oh, that was a little too much. That was a little
Right.
too much volume or a little too much whatever we did. Or maybe it was like a new exercise. It's like, oh, we're going to have to get better at that because we're getting sore from it. That's like, I don't know. It's just such a weird transition. It makes you think like, okay, 10 years from now, what's going to be different? What are we going to be doing? What are we going to be doing to try to maximize everything the most and all that kind of thing? And will it change that much,
My prediction is that people will start going to more full body rather than splits. I think that is already kind of like weeding itself out. Like I see
Yeah, more people doing that
do
now.
full body, but and just like people prioritizing the compound lifts more. I see people doing that.
Yeah.
But I feel like people will start going more towards the full body because of just like the efficiency of it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think more people are starting to get into working out and lifting, but more people are also working more and like not putting as much time into it. That it's like, you see the mirror workout thing that you
Yeah.
can get at home, or the tonal, or
Yeah.
like things that you can do at home that I think it's like, well, people are already not wanting to take the time to go to the gym. They're wanting to do it at home.
Yeah.
So they're wanting to do things that can be full body. You're not going to be able to like get one of those things and get a good like chest day in.
Right.
Just because you're limited with what that equipment has.
Yeah.
That you're looking for like a 20-minute get everything kind of worked.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that probably is the direction.
I think you're
It's
going to see
gonna
more
go
at
more.
home. Stuff.
It's probably at home, but it's also probably that like it's short workouts.
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes. I think people generally do that now, but the like almost like the programming of it it being more efficient programming. People do 20, 30-minute workouts now, but it's like they're doing hit type shit. They're doing box jumps and jumping jacks and like sprints and doing all this random shit to where it's like it'll probably be more weightlifting based, 20, 30 minutes and compound lifts, and that's it. You do that, you try to do that 3 to 6 times a week type of thing, and that's going to fill it. Because I think there's a general thing now of like, well, if I go to the gym, I got to be there for an hour. I got to be there for an hour and a half to make sure I get everything and hit everything. That I don't think people are thinking quite yet, that like kind of like how it was not thinking that full body routine would be efficient enough. It was split routine was the most efficient, to where people are kind of like, full body is efficient, and it's probably more efficient than split routine. To where I think people are like, an hour and a half workout is more efficient than the 30-minute one. And I think people are going to start to go like, oh, I can actually still get what I want by just doing 30 minutes. I just have to do the right things and program this correctly, rather than like go to the gym for an hour and a half and like kind of just like not do really great things and whatever. So I think it'll get shorter but more efficient.
This is my prediction, I think alongside with what I said of the at home stuff, I think people's workout portfolio is going to look less of they're just doing one thing of like, oh, I'm the person that takes the cycling class, or I'm the person that goes on the treadmill for an hour, or I'm the person that lifts. I think you're going to start to see a little bit more of a mix and match approach because of those things that you can get at home.
Yeah.
Where whether it's like the Peloton or the mirror, I don't know what the mirror thing is called, but like the mirror workout. It's called
mirror.
Okay, the mirror workouts or the tonal stuff, like it's built to kind of work for a lot of different kinds of people just for marketing purposes, that I think people are going to say like, well, I have this, I'll do the yoga workout on it, or I'll do the HIIT workout on it, or I'll do the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That I think you're going to see more of a mix of, I do yoga and weightlifting, and I do the bike, and I do that, because those things are also just, they're accessible for them. They're quick to do at home. They're able to get the teacher instructing them to being able to do it. Same thing with like the Peloton. Like, it's things that you can do at home with a community of people, with someone teaching you how to do it, and it's something that you don't have to like it keeps people's interest because they're doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. See, and that's kind of what I wonder with it is like generally people just do the thing that they like. So that's why I'm kind of curious as to like, will they, even though they have all those options, will they still just like pick the one thing and do that every time? Or will they expand out?
I think people are probably going to be more. I agree with you, but I think people are going to be more willing to try other things because it's so accessible. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
it's-
what's the worst? I can just turn it off,
Yeah.
or I can just stop the class, or whatever.
Yeah.
That to go to the gym to do that, or to search out a class to pay for that to do that,
Yeah.
then no. But it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I just have to like click a different button today and try it,
Yeah.
or whatever. I think it's going to either be that, and for the other side of the spectrum, I think we're going to see more like band workouts and more band workouts that would be full body and more just like quick accessible things. I think they're going to be promoted for like at home, people that work at home, which is more common nowadays, and it's the cheaper version of that. People aren't going to spend money to get weights.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, I think that's also why the kettlebell boom happened, because you can
So versatile.
you can do so much with such a little bit of weight, and you're not paying for a full gym setup.
Yeah.
And they're easy to, storage. Like
Yeah,
you don't have
yeah,
to get
seriously.
a big squat rack and have a bunch of weights and
Yeah.
that. I think you're going to see a little bit more in the accessibility of fitness and stuff that they can have at home, but it's cheap and multifaceted.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why those the tonal and the mirror and stuff they're taking off a little bit. I wonder, like, because I think you could use that to your advantage too, so much of like, if you're not feeling your usual workout, you have a variety that maybe something sparks your interest a little bit more. And it's like, sure, you gotta have that mental toughness to show up every day and do it type of thing. But at the same time, like, if you're really not feeling it, but then you have an option to like, oh, I'm not going to do my usual, like, whatever workout it is. I'm just going to do this easier yoga thing. It's like, well, doing the freaking yoga thing is way better than not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's like, how many people are like, I don't want to do that. That's too hard. I don't want to go to the gym for an hour, hour and a half. Like, it's too difficult. So I'm just going to skip, and then you end up not doing anything. Versus like, well, you have all these options. Now I can just pick a different thing to do that's a little bit easier. And maybe it's time restraint too. Like, oh, I don't have an hour and a half. I only have 30 minutes. Well, I'm not going to drive to the gym to just go 30 minutes. It's like, well, you can just have it at home and do it, and 30 minutes, boom, and then you're done. So
I think that's like why I say it's going to be more home-based is fitness, and the priority of fitness is becoming more mainstream, but people's schedules are not adjusting. So they're seeing it as like, oh, this is something I really need to focus on, but this is what I have, and I don't know the importance of like maybe the full spectrum of it. It's just I know I need to be doing something active, but like I'm now creating my life to be more not leaving the house.
But that's what I wonder is like, it's what your dad always says of that's his way of getting out of the house and doing something. That how many people are like that too, where it's like, it's not that I need to go talk to somebody at the gym or do that, but it's like I need to be around people or need to be, in a community and somewhere else.
That's why I think the things like the Peloton and all those things feed that, because you feel like you're in a class. You feel like you're around people. You get to like have little chats going, and you can actually see who's working out with you during that time. It might not be the same.
I don't think that scratches that itch.
And it might not, but I think for people that there's no other option, or they think there's no other option, that's also just like the fad that's in right now too. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they really get attached to like the specific instructor too. Like I like this person on Peloton, or I like this person on the thing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's kind of where you have those people, that would go to the gyms that have cycling classes with a certain person. It's like kind of gives them that way of doing that thing with somebody different, or with being able to go into the environment that they want to go to, like getting out of the house, being around people, and then it's the trainer that they like or the cyclist that they like, and they do that, every Tuesday or whatever. That's where I wonder, like, people just tend to do what they like and they don't branch out. That I don't know. I don't know if those things will stick that much. That's what I wonder.
If what things won't stick?
Because, like, I don't think you see a lot of people that are doing what you described, of like they're doing weights and then they have a yoga day and then they maybe have a cycling day and then they do that. Like, people tend to just go like, no, I like the cycling, I'm just going to do that 4 days a week or twice a week. Like, people don't do the wide ranging things that I think that's what's cool about, like, these different devices you can get at home that allows you to do a bunch of different things and different workouts and whatever. But I mean, think of that, like, getting a tonal and a Peloton. It's like, you might as well get a whole gym set. Those things are so expensive.
I'm not saying like you get both, but like the tonal has a bunch of different things that you can do on it. Or Peloton, you can do a bunch of different kinds of cycling classes or different kinds of cycling classes with the weights or that.
Which, I mean, you're cycling. That's it.
Sure, you're cycling, but to them they're doing different things. That still going to a gym for different things. Sure, I know they're not, but to them they are.
I know, but I don't care what it is to them. You're not.
Okay, sure.
You're just cycling. Towards, like, you're not also weight training then, or also doing yoga.
No.
It's
also like I don't know how they do that. Like, that seems so dangerous to me.
Weights and the Peloton.
Like, even
aren't
though
they like jumping off the bike and doing stuff and then jumping back on?
Sometimes, yeah. Which also, like, what?
Why? It's like.
But like they'll do like push-ups on the thing, or like they'll have one weight and it's like a 2-pound thing. I'm like, you're not getting the benefit of the weight. You're just like now holding something that seems dangerous to me.
Yeah.
Well, like,
that's where it's just like,
hold on to the handlebars.
These things are more efficient just separated. I think that's such a weird thing with fitness, is like everybody's always trying to combine all the stuff. It's like they are most efficient separated from each other. And then you just like do them on their, like, have your cycling day, have your weight training
That's
day.
why HIIT workouts are so popular. So it was like it was your cardio and weightlifting together.
Yeah, and then everybody got hurt. It's like
and then everyone got hurt.
Yeah.
so difficult.
Separate them. Like, I don't know.
I agree with you. Yeah. But that's just my prediction. Is people are going to start to see that it's a benefit, but they're not going to want to change their life. So they'll just like do what they can. I think, yes, they'll still fall into certain things. Like, they maybe get it for this specific thing, but then I think they're going to maybe try other stuff. But I think it's going to be more at home type of workouts. So I think that's where you'll start to see the split go away and those kinds of things go away because they just don't cater to those things.
You don't have the equipment.
No.
It's like you try to go do a chest day. Like, you're doing all of the machines at the gym and the barbells and the dumbbells and the chest fly and all that type of stuff and the chest fly machine. And that's like, if you just have a set of dumbbells at home, it's like, and maybe you have an adjustable bench. It's like, that's all you're going to be able to do.
And even that, you're getting that on your own. Like, that's not a part of the traditional equipment that you may be getting. Like, if you get, like, the mirror or whatever, like, those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah, you're not getting any of that.
You're just,
But, yeah, to get a full workout in, like, you're going to have to do basically full body.
So, I guess really positive of that, at least people are being more fit conscious. But that would be my suggestion for people, is if you're wanting to start doing that at home, would be, like, kettlebells are such the way to go.
Yeah, I like kettlebells for that. They're just more versatile. Like you said, storage is super easy. And it's like you can, I don't know, that's what's difficult, is like you're going to form a very, I mean, just like with any of this stuff, it's like you're going to form a specific body style.
Sure.
The way you're training, it's going to lend to you looking a certain way. So it's like, if you want to have this like real bodybuilder aesthetic look, like kettlebells is not going to be the way to go. But it's like, if you're just generally trying to get stronger and lose weight, you have those very general goals, those are perfect to have an at-home thing. It's like
When I talk
way more
about like
versatile.
overall, I feel like when we did the kettlebell stuff, that's when I felt like the overall, I feel tight everywhere. I feel strong everywhere. I feel lean everywhere. It felt like very balanced,
Yeah, yeah.
which I really liked about that.
You get the most balanced with that, I think.
And like I felt like the most
Strength-wise.
functional with that strength.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, being able to utilize that strength, not just like look strong.
But see, you know what? I feel like I could use kettlebells to still build more of a bodybuilder type of physique. I feel like I would just need to do the lifts that would work with that. It's like,
I don't know. You're gonna run out of stuff. That's the problem. You know, it's almost like you're not using the tool in its best form, in its best way.
no, but
It's
I
like
think
if you're
that you
gonna
could still
do
do it.
bodybuilding exercises, then just grab dumbbells and barbells. You know?
I'm just thinking for the person that would maybe want to mix it up at home, but they just want to get those few things. It's like you could do straight leg deadlifts and sumo deadlifts and, you know, shoulder press, lateral raise. To me, like all the like
Yeah,
hip thrusts,
yeah, yeah. And that's where I mean,
leg
You-
extension with your foot.
you can
the
do
little thing.
those. Yeah, you could do those, but I don't think you're using it to its best thing. You know, it's like
No,
you
but
can
it's better
put-
than nothing, I would
put
think.
one or two of those maybe in, but majority of it should be the functional
Rows.
movements and using it how it's supposed to be used.
Yeah.
That to me, it's like you're like it's like hop on the Peloton and then grab and hold weights. It's like you're not using them for their best purpose.
I do not think that is the same comparison to what I'm saying, but
It's not the
Sure.
same. It's not the same, but it's that idea. Like you're not using it to its best capabilities.
sure.
That's how I see it. Like
That's
you
how
should
you
be
see it.
doing swings and, you know, lots of rotation stuff and like clean and snatch
Yes.
and all that type of stuff, not just rows. It's like,
No, I'm coming from the mindset of if I'm the person that I'm not going to work out unless I'm at home and I want to look like this, and if I don't look like this or do something that's going to make me look like this, I'm not going to work out, then yes, you can use the kettlebells to do that or to like still work your way in that direction if it's
Ugh.
like so black and white. If it's like, I'm not going to go to a gym, I'm not going to buy a gym membership, I'm not going to drive to the gym, I'm going to be at home, otherwise I will not do it.
yeah.
I think kettlebells, you can do a little bit more if you want to expand to where if you get dumbbells just to do those workouts, now you're just able to do those. To our kettlebells, you can do more kettlebell style lifts, and you also have the option to do some
Okay, but are you saying like the person that wants an aesthetic looking body, a bodybuilder looking body, but they want to work out at home and they like those are hard and fast rules, but they don't want to buy a bunch of equipment and they just want to buy like one or two things, you would say to buy kettlebells.
if their original wanting to get into it is for more of the aesthetic look, then yes, because then I think there's more versatility down the line.
And that's where I'm like,
Because like I'm thinking, oh, yeah.
I mean, you might be right with that because of how versatile it is, but that's where I'm like, you're prepared to be disappointed. Like, you have all of these fucking rules of what it has to be and needs to be, and then you're not gonna pick the right way to get there. You know, it's like if you're gonna be like, I have to work out at home, I don't want to buy that many things, and I want an aesthetic looking body. It's like, okay,
Yeah, to me that's
you want $1 million
a lot
too?
of people
Like,
that talk like that.
well, it's something like you gotta make some sacrifices here. You can't get everything you want. It's like I only want to buy one thing, but work out at home and have a really aesthetic body. It's like you got too many.
Sure.
Your-
No, and is
your
that going to
genie-
happen? Probably not. I'm just thinking like best case scenario.
Well, that's where I go. Like, you need to reevaluate because
Sure.
this isn't gonna happen
Sure.
for you.
Sure.
Like I'm just gonna be honest right away of like this isn't gonna happen for you.
Sure. Yeah,
Like
true.
you're not gonna create the body you want then with a kettlebell. Like
Well, you're not going to create the body you want if you're going to work like that. Probably.
yeah, probably.
Like,
Your
you don't
attitude
get,
already
yeah,
is
like you don't get to have that body and
yeah.
put in that level of effort.
Yeah, and just have all these rules.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna have to.
I was just trying to be positive about it, but
yeah, well,
yes.
I'm gonna be honest about it.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
True.
not gonna happen.
True.
It's like, yeah, if you want to be disappointed for the next 6 months to 2 years, yeah, go that route.
True.
But it's like, if you want a bodybuilding body, go to a gym.
Yeah.
Like, pay for a membership, go to a gym. If you want like a functional,
Or build your.
yeah, or get a home gym but get all the shit that's at a gym.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just people just want what they want and don't want to make any adjustment to it. It's like, well, that's just not how it works.
Sure.
You can't just go like, oh, I want to make $100,000 a year and only work once a week.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
I want the best looking body you could ever imagine, but I only want to buy one thing to use. Like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. True. Okay. I get you.
I think you're right. Of like, it's the most versatile, so probably the direction to go. But yeah, it's like not gonna happen.
Sure. You're limiting yourself a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm just the honest guy.
Yeah. The dream crusher.
I'm the dream crusher.
But no, I get that. It's like that's how I feel about those other exercise equipment type things. It's like, this is great if you just want a very baseline of this. To me, it's like the mirror or the tonal or the Peloton. Your mindset should be, I just need to get some activity in today.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have any sort of fitness aesthetic or like,
right.
I wouldn't have any specific goals.
Yeah,
it's like, this is just teaching. This is just someone guiding you through like not sitting on the couch at some point in the day.
Yeah, I think it's like,
which can still be great. No one needs to have a specific goal, but it's just gonna do what it's gonna do to you.
Yeah, and I think it's like, if you have a general, I want to have more activity and get a little healthier, like
that's
those are gonna accomplish those things.
Yes,
for sure. But I don't think
you're like, I want to lose weight or I want to look like this.
Might, I don't know. It might, but I don't know.
It's it's like, it's how you use it and probably more of how you eat and.
Yeah. It's more about how you eat with that than the exercise, but yeah.
Because like that kind of exercise is probably not going to outweigh the other things that you're doing.
Well, it's the whole bang for your buck thing, you know. It's like, sorry, but free weights is just what it's going to be. Yeah. You can avoid it as much as you want, but it's just going to be the best way. Yeah. The most bang for your buck. You know, you want to. I think
especially, I should say, preface, especially for like the age group that's purchasing those things. Like if you're 80 and this is your way to like doing body weight stuff and being able to get instructed through that. Granted, it's still free weights, still superior at that age, and you should be able to do that. Yes, but when you're, just at home and you're able to do that and get some extra activity, that's great. But it's most of like 30, 40-year-olds that just they're busy and they want to try to fit in activity. Don't have any specific goal with it. Just like let it be what it is. Like you're getting activity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where it even then it's like, I'd rather just work on the behavior of trying to get to the gym. I'd rather spend my time doing that than spend my time on a mirror. Sure. Or spend my time on the Peloton bike. Like I would rather practice just trying to get to the gym and, like the things that we talked about on the first one, like just go and sit in the sauna if that's all you can do, or just go and, just show up at the gym and then leave. Sure. Or, and I would say change in the gym, take a shower, and then leave. Like, I would rather spend the time practicing that. Yeah. Than spending the time on the Peloton or the mirror.
But do whatever you're going to actually do to start out with. Yeah. But I would say if you're using those other things for just like added activity or extra, like maybe on days off or something, I would say a cheaper route is just like get a set of bands. Right. I feel like that's going to be way more beneficial. It's going to be cheaper. It's kind of hard to mess up or, like get injured off of them.
And that's where I'm like,
that would be my suggestion.
I'm too cheap. Like I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a bike that is like gonna that I'm gonna try to like get me to start going to the gym or work exercising.
And I think
It's
if they get like I think it's like a membership. Like you also
Yeah.
have to pay for the.
yeah,
I could be wrong with that, but
like I think there's buy a set of bands off Amazon for $30.
yeah,
It's like that's
because
how
you
it's
still get the
introduced.
quick workouts at home.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to like
Yeah.
require much.
it's not $1,000 to try to intro yourself to working out. It's like
Because it just won't.
no, and
It
then,
just won't.
and then like even if you're like advanced and you're going all the time, you just want something at home for extra activity. It's like I still would find something cheaper than that. It's like
Yeah.
just get a bike with a stand, or actually go for a bike ride, or go walk a little bit more, or start running. Like there's so many free ways to go exercise. Why do I need to spend $1,000 on a thing to
Sure.
that takes up space at my house? And it's like it just seems like an expensive thing to like add a little activity when it's like you can just do that by going for a walk.
Which, if you like spending money and that gives you joy, I guess spend the money, but just be realistic for what it's giving you then.
Yeah. If you're okay with burning $1,000 in the backyard, go ahead, get a Peloton.
Some people are. Some
I'm
people
not.
like the idea of just like having it.
I'd rather do bodyweight squats, push-ups, pull-ups, that sort of thing, which I get. Like
There's a lot of people that
most
would
people
disagree with you.
do not want to do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be way easier to hop on a bike, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just cheap. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
I'm just super cheap.
Well, let's wrap this up because I gotta pee.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.